There was some longest day and shortest.
So I'm back here at mastercabbie. Today is March 21st, and this is the first day of my 3-day testing experience, or classes, for becoming a taxi cab driver. I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to be learning other than positioning and testing against this test, this elusive, mysterious, all-encompassing 6-hour test that I'm supposed to take on Friday. And so this is the first of 3 days of probably the most hellacious experience that I've had since I was in high school. So this is our first break, and all I have to say is it's landmark after 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 landmark, and all of it has to be memorized before Friday because there's up to 1,000 or something questions that could potentially be asked on the multiple choice questions. So this is one of the beautiful buildings here in Long Island City. It's filled with graffiti, and if you ride the 7 train you'll see it. And just around the corner is mastercabbie, so I'm not too far away. So it's about 12:40 now, just ending our lunch break, our hour-long lunch break. And so far I've figured out how the instructor is teaching the course. So pretty much he's going and laying out the streets of New York, line by line, road by road. What is the begin, what is the end, what are the intricacies of the city? And I didn't quite understand until I started flipping through one of the test prep books that they gave us. And in the test prep book, there's a sample test. And sure enough, line by line, road by road, he's actually reading off the potential questions that you could possibly be selected. For example, 6th Avenue begins at what road and terminates at what road, and what are the features of the different intersecting roads and the bisecting roads. So, so far, I think I have a good handle on what I need to note, but what I will note in my head is going to be completely different. I question whether or not I'll be able to create flashcards that will be able to be accurate enough for this. So, let's see what happens next. So far we've covered Staten Island and most of Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, Midtown, all the fun things that you could possibly want to know. There's a rule, right, for learning addresses in Manhattan, and that is you truncate the last number, you divide by 2, and then you use the key system to add a certain number of digits to the particular address, and that'll give you the cross street. That is the taxi cab's #1 secret. That is a secret that has been bestowed upon me, and apparently if you tell someone in New York about it, they'll give you a higher tip because, you know, Manhattanites happen to be geeky like that. So now we move on to Brooklyn and Queens, which should be kind of interesting because Queens has its own numbering system. Like here in Long Island, the cross street is actually prefaced at the beginning of the address. And Brooklyn, well, that's just a whole nother mess because that was a separate town at one particular time. Actually, they were all towns separate. So my brain is floating and I feel like I have no clue about the city that I'm living in. So it's 5 o'clock and this is the end of day 1. The afternoon sessions included how to take the big book of streets, cross-index with how to find what street you're looking for. And, you know, like this city that has a population of 8 million people, the streets are pretty intricate and pretty detailed. I couldn't possibly imagine how many streets end and then reappear a few segments later. So I now know how to use my street index to find how all these streets appear and disappear and reappear, and how they intersect. And really it was about language, right? Because it was about the conversation of what text is going to appear on the test and how I need to be that individual that figures out how to translate that and then understand what is the multiple choice section and how to quickly and efficiently use the street index finder so that way I can pass the test.